The Royal Far West Children's Charity has been part of the Manly community for more than 80 years. Locals say they've always supported the organisation, offering their time and their money. But now residents feel betrayed over plans for a new development on Royal Far West's precious beachfront land. Tracy Bowden reports.
World-famous Manly Beach, a spot which attracts millions of visitors every year. It once sold itself as Australia's premier seaside resort, 7 miles from Sydney and 1,000 miles from Care. But today, locals are feeling anything but carefree over plans for a new development right on the beachfront.
No community consultation, well, with no genuine community consultation, suddenly they put forward this massive development that everybody feels is completely out of context with what should be done on that site.
We will do what we need to do, but we will do it by working with experts and we will do it by working with the community.
This is the site under contention, the home of the Royal Far West Children's Charity. Now the company is proposing a $229 million redevelopment.
The Manly community has got incredible respect for the work of Royal Far West and the impact it has on kids across this state, and we want to support that. But they're running a risk of eroding that trust and eroding that confidence.
Royal Far West was formed back in 1924. The aim was to provide special healthcare and a holiday by sea for children from remote parts of New South Wales.
I come from Boggabilla. It's only a small town.
Today, Royal Far West, with a combination of funding from the New South Wales Health Department and supporters, continues its work for children.
Every week we bring through about 35 families, 35 clients who then bring the siblings and their families or their carers. They stay here for approximately 1 week and they receive intensive assessment and treatment and interventions for whatever their conditions might be.
Now the Royal Far West Corporation says it urgently needs to update its facilities.
When you look at this place that we live in now that was built in the 1960s, it was built as an old polio hospital. There's no question that the building is old and unfit for purpose, and we need to build a new building that will accommodate the needs of the children today, because the needs of the children today are needs around mental health and conduct disorders and behavioural disorders and speech and language problems. They're not polio and congenital deformities, which was what we did in the 20s and 30s and 60s.
And as CEO Lindsay Kane says the charity doesn't have the $60 million needed to build a new complex, so it's looking to its key asset, prime real estate.
We were advised that a hotel, a 5-star hotel, top standard hotel, and premium apartments on the beachfront would potentially unlock the most value of our land.
Under the plan, the heritage-listed accommodation building Drummond House will remain, and also these terraces on the beachfront corner. The other structures will be demolished. The plan includes construction of a 5-storey residential flat development with retail at ground level, a 9-storey hotel complex, and at the back of the site, the 7-storey Royal Far West Medical Facility.
It's totally inappropriate, and we believe that something of a smaller scale will serve them and serve the community.
Manly councillor Candy Bingham opposes the development and is helping coordinate the fight against it.
If you picture here, you've currently got 4 stories. It's a pretty bulky building to start with. They want 5, and then immediately behind that, 9 stories. And so this will be 5 and 9. Now the overshadowing that that's going to create on the beach is not acceptable.
Residents staged a mock funeral last week to mourn the loss of sunlight, marking out where the shadow is expected to fall. But Lindsay Kane considers this a non-issue.
The building next to us, which was approved by Manly Council some time ago, 9 stories high, currently shadows the beach. The Peninsula Apartments, which are 8 stories high, currently shadow the beach. The Norfolk Island pines that have been here in Manly for more than 1 century currently shadow the beach. And the current Royal Far West building, the way it is, currently shadows the beach. The Department of Planning have determined that the shadowing of the beach in the afternoon is consistent with the position of all the other buildings and that it's not excessive.
This sketch prepared for the Manly Council shows the new development compared to what's there now.
Charities have to look after themselves and look after their assets and look after their income. There's no argument with that. There's also no argument with the work that the Royal Far West does and has done for 85 years. The question is, do they need that much commercial development on their block to support their business as delivering care to children? And I suspect not.
This is a moral and social injustice. Very short-sighted position to take, and the school community has not been consulted at all.
The Manly Village Public School is behind the Royal Far West and has become part of the debate. 10% of the redevelopment site land is owned by the Education Department. With the school bursting at the seams, parents say this land should be made available to the school.
Royal Far West says it's about caring for kids. It's all about children, and children are our future. How can taking 100% of a childcare facility and turning it into 70% of a commercial development achieve that goal and that aim?
What percentage of the site will be Royal Far West, will be facilities for the children?
What we've proposed is a centre of excellence that will use our airspace, 7 stories of airspace. So it means that if we have to part with some of our land, our waterfront land, that will go to someone else to develop. I understand that's probably more than 50% of the site now.
We've been told maybe only 25 or 30% would be used by Royal Far West.
The communities put forward a lot of propositions, some of which are accurate and some of which are not accurate. The issue of how much ownership of the Royal Far West land is left isn't an issue that at this point really is an issue.
The issue is twofold. At the moment, what they're proposing is above and beyond the council guidelines. It's not taking into account the community concerns in relation to the Manly Village Public School.
New South Wales Treasurer and local MP Mike Baird says he's asked the Royal Far West to withdraw the current application.
That's what I've said to Royal Far West. If you bring it into local guidelines, if you look for the opportunities to look after the Manly Village Public School and bring the community with you on it, I see a chance for a win-win, which is a long-term sustainable future for Royal Far West, but at the same time a future for the community and Manly Village Public School. And there is an opportunity for that, but at the moment we remain well apart.
We are not going to be commercial developers. We are not property developers. We are aiming to unlock the value of our land, our own private asset, to see if it can work for us to help us fund our new building.
If you found a way to fund the medical centre without having to have a commercial development on the site, would you prefer that?
Our preferred option is not to sell the land if we don't have to. Our preferred option is to, yes, have someone assist us to fund the development.
The New South Wales Department of Planning has already recommended the concept plan be approved. The next step is consideration by the Independent Planning Assessment Commission. A public meeting before the PAC will be held next week in Manly.
Our best hope is that the panel actually rejects the current proposal. We can all go back to the drawing board and do a more sensible development for this site.